Speaking
worldwide, man. Follow at Malignaggi on Twitter. We're doing it big, man. And on Saturday night, we're going to continue to do big things.
Speaking of fickle, Paulie, boxing fans are very fickle. They love you today, they hate you tomorrow. Boxing fans also have seen you here before. I mean, you've done this, I guess, vocal lead up to a fight with Amir Khan. We've seen you do it on Twitter with Maidana'S and Paul McCluskey and Devin Alexander. How do we know this time you're going to show up and it's not just to build up this fight?
Well, because sometimes I have shown up and I've won. You know, it's just people choose to remember the times I've shown up and I've lost. You know, so, you know, if you keep in mind everything that I've done, you wouldn't just remember the losses. You remember there's times where people thought I was going to lose. There's been times where I've been an underdog in my career and I've won. And I'm not just talking a Sinchenko fight. I was an underdog, believe it or not, in the Juan Diaz rematch. You know what I mean? If you remember the odds for that fight, I was an underdog again. So, you know, there's been fights where in my career where I've been the underdog going in and I've won, and people just forget about those. They remember the times where I've talked a lot and lost. So you're going to win and you're going to lose. In reality, I'll tell you how people should look at me. People should look at me as this kid's accomplished a lot. This kid's only lost to top fighters. He's only not lost only his big fights. He's won big fights too, but he's only lost top fighters. Instead of looking at me like that, they say, oh, anytime he stepped up, he's lost. So what do I got? Do I really got to lose to bums to get the credit? Like, oh, okay, he lost to a couple of bums too, so he didn't only lose to top fighters. So we'll give him credit for the good wins he has too. It's ridiculous, and which is why I said I stopped thinking about it. I stopped worrying about it. I fight for myself. You know, I continue not to be respected. I don't mind that, but at the end of the day, it's a motivation, it's a drive, and I have that chip on my shoulder because of it.
If you win this fight, you know that your mandatory becomes Marcos Maidana, or is Marcos Maidana as we speak. What's your thoughts on that?
I want Marcos Maidana. I've been trying to fight Marcos Maidana for a couple of years. There's just a funny thing in boxing going on in Golden Boy right now. They don't match their non-Heyman fighters with each other. They'll only match a non-Al Heyman fighter against an Al Heyman fighter. So you can never make a match between me and Maidana. I was told before this fight, me and Maidana wanted to fight each other. We talked on Twitter and everything. I was told, you know what, there's not enough money to make a main event out of that fight. Next thing I know, I close my eyes, I open them again, and Maidana's fighting Josito Lopez in a main event. So all of a sudden, what happened? The money was there for that fight? No, man. Josito's with Al Heyman. I'm not saying Josito don't deserve a big fight because he's put his sacrifice and his work in. I'm just telling you about the principle of it all. You know, in the end, I want to fight Marcos Maidana. Marcos Maidana wants to fight me. Marcos Maidana deserves a legitimate world title shot, not the interims he's won in the past. And I would love to give it to him because I respect him as a fighter and as a man, and I think it would be a great fight. I'm not overlooking Saturday night. I got to look at what's in front of me Saturday night, but getting it on with Maidana is something I've wanted to do. It's something Maidana's wanted to do. It's just a matter of everybody making it happen. Are they going to finally make it happen, or are they going to continue this trend like I just told you about?
Now, watching the Josito Lopez versus Maidana fight, I'm sure you've seen it, and we can all notice or see clearly how you would be able to outbox Maidana, but he does have that it factor because Lopez looked great. He was landing 3 and 4 punch combinations, but Marcos Maidana hits like he's got an anvil on his fist.
Yeah, and that makes the fight intriguing. But that's what gets me up, man. You know, I only want big fights for this reason, you know? Like, it's why I keep fighting, and to test myself against the best. I don't want to be like Adrian Broner and have gimmies given to me every second. You know what I'm saying? When I have a world title. If I got a world title, I'd rather be against name fighters, big fighters, you know, guys that people feel going into the fight, hey, man, this guy's a big threat. You better watch out. That gets me pumped up. That gets me motivated to train. It's hard to get up and train. Not that I don't do it, but it's hard to mentally get into a training session when everybody's expecting you to win the fight easily. You know what I'm saying? What motivates me at this point, I've had so many fights in my career that the big motivation is really, yo, we better be careful with this guy. He's good. You better be careful with this guy. He's strong. Oh, yeah? Okay, he's so good. Let's see how bad he is, man. I'm going to bring the best of me, and let's see how good he is. You know, that's the motivation for me. So a fight like Marcos Maidana, tell me he's as dangerous as you want to tell me he is. I believe it. I know it. Believe me. I've seen the guy with my eyes just like you've seen him with your eyes. I'm all for it, though. I'm not like Adrian Broner or any of these other guys, man. I want those big fights. I want to take that risk. I want to get in there and have to risk getting my block knocked off. You know what I mean? And have that daredevil mentality where I have to make you miss by that much to make you pay. Or get in there and try to walk that tightrope because I don't have the one-punch equalizer, but you do. I love that. I love that rush. You know, I get ready 100,000% because of it, you know? But you got to be able to give me those fights once I keep winning. And I hope that comes about after Saturday night. But again, I'm not going to overlook Saturday night. It's a big moment for me, as it is, and so I got to be in that moment first.